Thank you, Chairman Latta, and thank you to Ranking Member Castor and to our witnesses for your testimony today. It's been very helpful, and I think it is clear from this discussion that for advanced nuclear to succeed, developers need clear rules, rules of the road, and the freedom to get away from a politicized regulatory process. And that's something I know has been of concern to a lot of us on this committee this year. I'm really glad that our committee came together in the last Congress to pass the Bipartisan Advance Act, which many of you have mentioned in your testimony today. And that will really, I think, spur the nuclear renaissance that we are witnessing across the country and certainly in my home state of Texas. But in the wake of this, I think, really solid bipartisan success, what we have seen is this year, President Trump has orchestrated another partisan attack on a key government agency, and that's the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. Over the course of the last year, President Trump illegally fired a commissioner, installed DOJ cronies to bypass career civil servants, and has taken several actions to erode the NRC's independence. And ultimately, and unfortunately, this just isn't the first time that President Trump has attempted to take away agency independence, and it's likely not going to be the last. And so every member in this room, every member of the Congress, and every witness in the room knows that keeping regulators like NRC and FERC independent is really crucial to the stability and the safety of the power sector. And so I just urge my colleagues on this committee not to turn a blind eye to these attacks on the ability to keep our constituents safe, to provide the regulatory environment for nuclear development really to flourish. And in Texas, we are seeing that. We just heard a little bit from my friend from the other side of the state, Mr. Pfluger, talking about a tremendous amount of interest in developing innovative advanced reactors, advances in next generation nuclear technologies, including SMRs, in recent years offer huge potential advancements. And I do think, I like to say in this committee a lot, I really think Texas is leading the way in all sectors. And it's also true in nuclear that we're doing so many things in my part of the state. We're excited about X-Energy's partnership with Dow, which will be the first grid-scale advanced reactor at a site along the Texas Gulf Coast. And that project, once it's deployed, could really open a new frontier for advanced nuclear applications in the industrial sector. And so we're excited about this, and we want to see a successful and diverse supply of energy. And so that, of course, leads to some questions. And Ms. Greenwald, I want to follow up on some questions. I know you've already touched on some of this in your answers earlier, but I do think it's worth discussing in that President Trump's nuclear executive orders have initiated a lot of complicated rulemakings. And at the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, the career civil servants that work on the commission are some of the brightest minds in the field, but their jobs are made harder by uncoordinated directives and the president's effort to inject politics into what should be a really nonpartisan commission. And I've heard concerns from nuclear energy professionals that the volume and complexity of the rulemakings created by this administration and the executive orders coming out of the Trump administration could lead to an uncertain regulatory environment that could really stymie progress on nuclear development. So can you speak to the importance, I think, of the NRC's independence for a stable and predictable regulatory environment?
Yes, I think I've spoken already, but happy to say it again. I think it's this, it's not just independence, it's also transparency, and it's also having the right expertise. So it's several things, and they all have to work together, and we need all of them. We do think, and since I've talked about this less, I'll say a little more, we have some recommendations about how to help with employee retention and to recruiting, because that is a key problem. And we have a report on that, which we're happy to share. We had a Chatham House Rules workshop earlier this, I guess it was last year, with former commissioners, former executive directors for operation, former NRC employees at all levels of the agency, and came up with a number of recommendations about how to make things go better at NRC. We do think that making sure that the staff is excellent and empowered and accountable is really important, and we really do want to focus on that. And as I said, we do think we are concerned about the transparency and independence issues, but we actually think they can be addressed, and we're actually raising them because we think this committee can help address them.
That's great. Well, I have gone over my time. I have a few more questions for you, so I'm going to submit them in writing on some really down in the weeds, but I think it is hugely important. I'm grateful for your work. I'm grateful for all of your testimony, and I'm grateful for the few extra seconds you gave me, Chairman Letta, and I'll yield back.